3, 2, you want?
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Holding Court with the Empress of West Hollywood. My name's Enoch Miller, your Empress of WeHo, and we're so excited to have with us today! We want to give a special thank you to our amazing producers, GayLifeLA.com, as well as Kings Road Apartment Homes for all you see here today. They are currently under construction, so if you see any background sound effects, they are working hard. So we are getting the new space up and running, so you can see that here, but as you can see in the background, all this loveliness will be here coming soon, and they are working on it. And we want to give a special thank you to our most illustrious guest that's here today, the amazing Sherry Vaughn!
Hi! Oh my goodness, a live studio audience!
Yeah.
I thought that banging was my IBS, so I'm so relieved.
Hallelujah. No, but it's so amazing. She finally saw the light and moved back here to Los Angeles, so we're so excited to have her
Yesterday.
here. Yesterday, no, right?
Yesterday!
After, oh my gosh, years in New York City, living the dream, spilling the tea, and causing all kinds of shit and mayhem, which is, I mean, again, is the classic Sherry Vaughn that we know and love. So, welcome so much to this.
Thank you.
I mean, you're not a stranger to Los Angeles. You
No.
come here often. You actually went to school here in your college years for, like, what, 6 years, roughly?
I lived here for 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, let's get to know Miss Sherry from back in the day. You're originally from Florida.
I was born in Gainesville, but I'd only lived there till 6 months, and then I grew up in Maryland.
So your parents got smart and left.
They were like, wow. No, they were students at the University of Florida.
Oh, wow.
And then I was born, and they moved to Maryland, and I grew up outside of Baltimore.
Wow. And so for you, I mean, being so frequent with back and forth from the East and West Coast, what for you is, I mean, obviously New York is going to always be home because that is New York City. But what do you like most about the different parts of being on East and West Side?
They're just so completely different, like in almost every way.
Right.
The lifestyle is different, everything. And I love New York. I love the energy, and I love walking everywhere. Like literally, walking has become really important to me. I just like the air and get my blood moving, and I like to look around like, oh, there's that building. I've lived here for 20 years. I've never seen that building before.
Because they built it overnight.
And I love New York, but at the same time, I love LA, and I loved living here before, and it was really like a big decision to go to New York, and it was a really, really big decision now to come back. I did live in Berlin for 3 years.
That's right. You're right.
And that was the time that Giuliani was destroying New York City, and
oh my gosh,
and the whole thing with Bush and I
got
was like, I need to get out of here. I was like, literally, I need to escape.
Yeah.
And it was not like that this time. It was a very difficult decision.
Yeah.
But then it was, once I made the decision, it was really easy, and I know that I made the right decision. The things that I want to do in my next chapter of performing and life, I think, is here.
Yeah. And also, we want to thank you, Jackie Pete, for threatening her with her life to come out here to Los Angeles. But and you, I mean, I will say she is one of the few people that have ever survived 3 Nazis as best friends: Bianca Del Rio, Leda Bunny, and Jackie Pete. So amazing. The Holocaust didn't kill her. They almost did.
This time, not yet.
Not yet, bitches. But you, I mean, you have an amazing career history and people you've worked with, legends and icons across the board. But you yourself, you have worked your ass off for, I'm not going to say for how long. It's been a hefty career.
28 years almost.
28 years? Oh my gosh, I was totally going to butcher it and say 25. Okay, so 28 years. Still, to be doing drag for as long as you have, for you just kind of looking back over this this time you've had in doing it, what is kind of your just like biggest look back and going, oh my god, I just can't believe I've been able to do this for this long? Or like for you looking back, what's been your like holy crap moment for it all?
There's so many. I kind of divide everything into chapters.
Okay.
And there have just been so many dreams realized that I'm so lucky. I mean, I literally wake up every morning like, I'm so lucky and blessed to be doing what I love doing. And there's been ups and downs. There's been times where I'm like, oh my god, I have to go back to school and get a degree to teach or something because I'm not going to be able to make a living performing in drag anymore. Mm-hmm. And I really examined that and was like, I won't be happy.
Yeah.
I won't be happy.
No.
And I have to make this work. And then it's like, okay, it's time to reinvent. And all these kind of things came along. Like right before YouTube was one of those moments where I was like, what the fuck something to do with my life.
Yeah.
And then YouTube came along, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do little movies and videos, and here's this like platform that was just kind of like here. And I was like, okay, and run with that. And now that chapter's done, and it's like on to something else. So these theater couture, YouTube, living in Berlin, there's different chapters.
Fantastic. And then for you, I mean, because you originally were going as an actor, theater, like trying to do that type of work, and what you went to New York as well.
I was doing
that.
Yeah,
you were, that was your what you thought your life was going to be as an actor, going through all that. When you were introduced to the potential of doing drag and doing aspects of it, what was your initial, like, were you kind of like, I don't want to be kind of a stereotype, or what were you thinking when
it
you
wasn't
first
a stereotype. I fought against committing to a career performing in drag because I really, since I was 5 years old, was like, I want to be a movie star. And I worked really hard to go to undergrad school in theater, grad school in theater, tap class, voice class. Surprisingly, I did study voice. Acting was the emphasis, and a master's degree in theater. All of this in LA. Graduated from USC, getting like an agent, a commercial agent, an equity show right away.
Wow.
Commercials right away, and I was like on the path that I had always wanted to be. And so when I started doing drag, it was kind of like, wait a minute, no. And I fought it really hard.
Wow.
And it was one of my roommates at the time was like, why are you fighting this?
Yeah.
Maybe this is something to explore. And so once I kind of like let go of what I thought my life was going to be, and I kind of jumped tracks in a way, and it was like, well, I'm still performing, I'm still acting, and it just, everything changed.
Wow.
And I knew that when I first moved to New York, was going to getting up at 6 a.m, standing outside in the cold in line to audition to be in the chorus of some road show or whatever, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And I was like, I'm gonna start my own theater company where I'm the star.
Which was amazing. I mean, again, that's no easy feat in and of itself as well, because that was when you started doing theater couture and doing all the stuff with that, and you were kind of out of the East Village area doing all that stuff, and you were also working with Jackie Beat and Mario Diaz doing all this work. What was that like, creating your own company like this? And
well, there was a team, and it's one of those things that when certain things happen organically, it's so like a gift from the universe, and it's meant to be. And here it was like a combination of my best friend Doug was writing the shows, so he wasn't he was just the writer. Josh Rosenzweig was directing, and when Doug passed away in '95, Eric Jackson took over as writing the shows, and Joey Gross, and so it's just like this company. There's Mark Happel and David Dalrymple doing costumes. And there were people doing the Kevin Adams doing lights and sets, who now has like 4 Tonys. And so it was like this company just came together organically, where it's like we didn't have to look. And it's like, okay, this is what we're supposed to be doing.
And that's so amazing when it is, the universe just hands this to you, and you're just like, oh, no brainer. This is what we're supposed to be doing.
And we had, and like you said, Jackie Beat moved to New York around 95 or 96 and was in all the shows. Justin Bond, Mistress Formica, Candace Kane. I mean, all these people were in all these shows, and it was a really exciting time to kind of do that off Broadway. I mean, if I can say, carrying the torch of Charles Ludlam, Charles Bush.
Oh yeah, I could totally see that. It was. I mean, it's about that same genre and that kind of style.
Yeah, I mean, Charles Bush's been very gracious and said that to me. So
check. And thank you for that one. Thank you. But it is. I mean, it's still. I mean, first of all, being able to set on your own in New York to do something, and again, not obviously just yourself, but I mean, this group of you coming together to create this, and then going from that now. You're kind of doing your thing, doing theater couture, and you're kind of going on to your next phase. And then for you getting involved in drag and being able to set your sights on making this a career, when you're coming up with the character that is Sherry Vine and everything that surrounds her persona, when you first started coming out and doing drag, what was your initial like concept going into it? In the very earliest parts of you going out and like going with your friend Candace and doing fun stuff out night?
Well, it was definitely I wanted to keep Keith and Sherry as separate as possible.
Okay,
like,
so,
Sherry was going
all
to
the
be
way
a
apart.
character.
Gotcha.
And so I invented this whole history of being born in the Amish country and realizing I was adopted and all of this. That's all fiction. But I really stuck to that storyline
Okay.
for a long time. And you know, I kind of talked a little bit more like this. And so it was a combination of like Mrs. Wiggins from the Carol Burnett
Which I
Show
love.
and Born Yesterday and kind of the, you know, blonde, ditzy showgirl, down on her luck kind of thing. Sex kitten, maybe. Like, all these kind of different things. But it was definitely a character, and I really kept that apart. And so I tried to make choices. I mean, Theater Couture was different. But even with Theater Couture, it was always Keith Levy as Sherry Vine as
whatever
this character.
This character was. Okay, so you were doing your utmost to separate and keep it, making sure that Keith was Keith, Sherry was Sherry, and everything else was where it was supposed to be.
Yeah, there's always a little Sherry in the characters in the Theater Couture show.
Okay.
There's always a little Sherry.
Okay.
But, yeah, so I just tried to keep them separate. So that was kind of like how it started. And it just evolved. I mean, it's been so long. And when I first started, I didn't wear breasts. And
oh, really?
I had these eyebrows. I'll show you pictures. These eyebrows like this. It's like, why would you make your eyebrows bigger? And it was, I thought I had to look funny to be funny.
I gotcha. So you were taking the character to the nth degree of making it this over-the-top extreme persona. Yeah. And when did you feel you kind of really reined that all into what we see today?
Well,
over
Joey,
the years?
that is because mostly Joey Arias and Raven-O. Raven-O is my drag mother in New York, and she was the mother of the House of Boy Bar, which was from the, I think that started maybe in the 80s, but when Candace and I and a bunch of other queens started there when we moved to New York. And Joey Arias saw me performing as Edith Piaf for Bastille Day in the Meatpacking District. And she was like, hey, you should come and perform with me and Raven. We're starting a night called Bardot. And it was one of the, as far as I know of, one of the only live singing drag cabarets.
Wow.
And
well, especially for back then, there wasn't a lot out there at
it was
all.
Really when I moved to New York, you had the East Village, which was like Lady Bunny, Sister Dimension, all these people that was like kooky, crazy comedy drag. Or Boy Bar, which was like Cody Ravioli, Robbie Martin, Miss Missy, that was like glamour.
Like showgirls kind of
Showgirls.
stuff. Yes.
And so Bardot kind of became this different thing. And I was with Joey Arias and Raven-O, and Raven would be like, no, you should do your lips like this. And at the same time, I was hanging out with Candace and Girlina, who were like... Lena, who were gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
And Mistress Formica, who was gorgeous. So when I moved here, you had this new renaissance of new drag queens that were like, I don't want to say were past, because I don't even know what that means, but they had a different sense of like fashion and a look. Like Mistress Formica from day one never looked like a bad drag queen or a clown. She looked gorgeous.
She looked like a
and there's nothing wrong with
lady.
clown drag or busted up drag anyway. I mean, some of my favorite performers are not what I would call pretty drag queens. But I was kind of, so that was the whole influence of that. And I remember people saying, oh, don't give in to that. And I was like, well, I just want to, you know, explore and evolve. Yeah. And I was like, maybe I can, when I walk out, people are like, ooh, she looks good. And then, and she's funny.
And she can sing. And she performs.
Well, I don't know if they ever said she could sing, but...
That's just Jackie in your ear.
That was the idea.
But it's amazing, though, to see, again, someone take an initial concept and then really kind of fine-tune it into this amazing persona. And it's just, again, something that has just shone throughout these last few years of just everything that is Sherry Vine. It's just so amazing, and it really is this elegance as well with you. And you come on stage with a presence, you come on stage with this kind of really smooth demeanor, and then you slap in the face with the funny, and you slap in the face with like this talent. And I think people really are so excited to see just Sherry Vine come alive, and I think that's just what we see every time you come on stage. There is this energy. Oh no, totally. So, bitch, please, you are sold out across the board with stuff.
Girl, no, trust.
People love.
Not always.
Not always true. That's true. But still, people love to see the talent that you do bring, and it is amazing to see how you have worked that through the years of transitioning to really fine tune it to an audience that's today's audience.
You have to. you have to evolve. I mean, if you
Yeah.
want longevity, you just have to. Things
Yeah.
change. When I started, there was no internet, no cell phones.
Yeah.
And people had to go out.
Right.
You had to leave your apartment. If you wanted to socialize, have a drink, get laid, or whatever, you had to go out.
You had to talk to other people.
Yeah. And it was very different. And the show etiquette was very different than it is now. And so you just have to kind of like evolve with whatever.
And then for you, when, again, you had, originally it started, kind of your name in the very beginning was just Sherry. And there was this, so really kind of give us the whole, because I love the story behind this, because this is fucking awesome. But how...
It's a true story.
And I know, it's brilliant.
It really is true. I don't know
Brilliant.
if the place still exists. I was working at the French Market.
Which
and
is right over here in West Hollywood.
Yeah,
The building's still there. It's all emptied.
We had...
Got it.
I can't even tell you how much fun... That's the most fun I've ever had, waiting tables, which is not a fun job.
No, it's not. It was a beautiful space for how they had everything designed and all the stuff inside.
We laughed so hard. And I was working at the Cheesecake Factory in Marina Del Rey.
Oh my gosh,
when there were only like 3 of them.
Yeah, right.
And
I
got fired.
That. Yeah.
And went and got a job at French Market, which was so much more fun and easy. Anyway, I was working there, and yes, it was just Sherry.
Okay.
At first. And one of the guys working there, he said, you know, there's this building on Vine Street called the Sherry. And I'm like, and it's like, I drove by and I thought of you because it looked like a busted, like crack whorehouse. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. And I drove up there and it was really there. I don't know if it is now, but I was like, oh my God. So that Vine actually came from Vine Street.
Oh my God, I absolutely love it. So she's originally as a busted crack whorehouse. Exactly. It's the best little whorehouse on Vine. I love it. But it's still, again, how it just naturally happened, and it was just this funny, but still so true to you as your character.
Yeah, and I wanted like, this whole kind of like showgirl thing, and so it was just like perfect. So the Vine is an homage to kind of like Hollywood and Vine, but.
So for you being able now to like, again, you're talking about how you were never really initially seeing your career as an actor and doing drag kind of being one and the same. Now that you've kind of done it for as long as you have, what really kind of opened your eyes in the very beginning to realizing, hey, I can do my career as an actress now, having this fun with Sherry at the same time?
Well, I really think it was just this moment very early on where I was like, this feels right.
Yeah.
I mean, once I let go of all of these other issues of myself, blocking myself, being my own obstacle, then it was kind of like, things opened up and it just like, and, through Joey Arias started performing in Europe like really early. And there weren't a lot of queens back then from the United States who were going back and forth to Europe and performing.
Oh, no, not at all,
And that was certainly through Joey.
Yeah.
And all these things started to happen all these things that I wanted to do as an actor were happening with Sherry.
Okay.
And so I was like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Like, I had no doubt that I was on the path that I was meant to be.
And you're doing the theater, were you doing and coupling all the comedy as well and doing stuff?
Yeah, that wasn't making any money at all. No one made a penny from Theater Couture. And if we made any money, it went right back into another show. So there was never, I'm not even kidding, not a penny.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to work. I was working like every single night of the week. So, we'd do the show and then I'd run off to Palladium or Limelight or wherever to work. And we did Bardot 3 nights a week. And Squeeze Box started in, I think, 94, which was like the gay drag rock and roll party. I performed there. And Tuesday night was Jackie 60. So there was every single night of the week we were working.
I don't know how you survived.
I was young, honey. Oh my God, I had the best time.
Still, you still working your ass off, like still.
I can't play like I used to play.
True.
But I can work like I used to work.
She works. I mean, it's really. I mean, you were saying this to me on the way over here. I mean, it's that very that whole Joan Rivers mentality of like, gotta find the next thing to do. Gotta keep myself busy. Keep myself working because. That's how you sustain yourself. And again, you are a working girl.
I like working. It's the only thing that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, like, once I kind of realized that.
Yeah.
Because I've been in relationships and whatever, but nothing will fulfill me, like performing. once you kind of really realize that, then it's like, okay, it becomes so much easier. Like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right, exactly. You're married to your
and
work.
you just do it. And I love working. I don't like downtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't afford it. I'm not like a TV star.
Yeah.
So, mom got to work.
I'm gonna make that coin. And when you started, because again, obviously initially the part was doing the acting stuff with theater couture and all that. And when you started wanting to kind of, I mean, because you've done parodies since a very young age, and even in high school.
High school.
So when you actually had, and then you kind of mentioned this with the whole kind of revelation of YouTube and stuff like that. Did you initially go, oh my gosh, I should start doing parodies, or how did that kind of?
No, I mean, I gotta give like credit where credit is due, and there were only two queens that I had seen doing videos on YouTube.
Okay.
And one was Jackie, and one was Mila Jam.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I had just moved back from Berlin.
Okay.
And I was saying to Jackie, I'm like, how are you getting booked in Oshkosh? Forgot what?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, they saw my video on YouTube. And I was like, I gotta do videos on YouTube. So thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Mila. But that's when I really was like, I'm putting all of my focus now, because theater couture was kind of,
like back burner-ish.
back burner until we did Carrie, which was
Okay.
huge. And then I think YouTube even came like right after. YouTube came right after Carrie. Carrie was like 2006, and I think YouTube I started 2007 or 8.
Okay.
So we did Carrie. And then YouTube I knew was kind of on pause because it just became too much work. We all grew up.
Yeah.
Josh and Eric had real jobs.
Right.
And it wasn't like, hey, let's spend 12 hours a day.
Right.
I mean, no one could do that.
Right.
So, and YouTube came along, and I was like, okay, all roads lead to YouTube now.
Yes.
All the money's going into this, which wasn't a lot, but I sought out people to work with and a whole, like, kind of different team, like I said, literally organically materialized.
Yeah.
I was like, Francis Legg, who directed all but maybe 2 or 3 of my videos, and the dancers and Wig Bar, who were doing all the wigs and all the looks. All of these people just came together organically, and was like, okay, this is meant to be. And so it just became like a factory of trying to turn out these videos. And Gaga was the next gift from the universe. if you're doing parody videos, no one has given you more to work with.
Oh my God, no,
than Lady Gaga.
And I mean, you've done Madonna, you've done Gaga, you've done Rihanna, you've done a bunch of these like icons that have been in music as well. For you going and finding a song and finding someone that kind of fits what your aesthetic is when you want to do a parody, how do you go about doing that? And I know you have a lot of inspiration from Carol Burnett and a lot of stuff of what she does kind of in her comedy and how she plays stuff out.
I have a mantra. It's, what would Carol do?
I love it.
What would Carol do? So let's say, okay, I'm going to do a video parody of Adele.
Okay.
I look at her video and I think, what would Carol do? And
that's how you kind of like
that's
frame
my guiding light.
Gotcha. And when you come up to creating this whole persona of putting all these different parodies together, because it's a lot of work that goes into creating these videos. I mean, it's hours and hours.
Sometimes.
Of work. Yeah. Well, and just
and
editing
I
alone.
mean, you can. I have some that you just can fart out on a green screen, and then some that, like the Gaga ones, are Katy Perry's the firework parody Fire Crotch. Those are epic. And then when you have a budget of $100 or whatever, those I think are pretty epic. Certainly Telephone, I think it's the biggest, most ambitious one that we've done, and I can look at that and be like, I don't know how we did that. I really don't know how we did that. It's because there were 100 people involved working for free and shooting 2 20-hour days.
I would say you did that. Yeah, you did that in 2 days.
2 of the longest days ever.
I can imagine.
And it was just so like running, and all these like gifted, amazing people who said yes.
Wow.
And that's something I could be very proud of.
Yeah.
Especially because, like I said, there was no money.
And you did get actually some feedback from Gaga on that, and so what was like when she actually said like, oh my God, she loved it. What was your initial reaction when you were like?
My first reaction was I was really happy because she had, certainly in the beginning, the Monster fans were so, how dare you?
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of her.
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of her.
No.
And she got that. So I was kind of like, okay, cool. She has a sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
She gets it. she's commented on a lot of them and sent me messages on several of them.
Wow.
And so yeah, it was just like cool.
Is there any of the other ones that have actually reached out to you and like said, haha, I love it?
Katy Perry liked the Fire Crotch one and actually tweeted it to her sister or something like that. She didn't reach out to me personally,
but she at least said that she
acknowledged it.
Okay.
And Gaga, they're the only ones.
Okay.
But I have a feeling like Madonna, I know Madonna takes down a lot of videos and stuff, and she kind of left me alone. So I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there was a quote from Madonna saying that, like, I mean, she had even acknowledged that you're a gorgeous individual. And so, I mean, you've gotten recognition from her as well, too.
I've met her a couple times, and
yeah, I mean,
she was funny.
Boy George as well, saying you crack his ass. Like, you send shivers down his spine, you're fabulous. I mean, Michael Musto. I mean, there's tons of people that have recognized, again, people that well respected in the industry that have really recognized your talent. And it's just, I mean, it's a feat of what work you put into it, and that you see through all these different things. Your videos are hilarious, and I love that you do put a thought process to everything. It's not just like, how can I just make a big gag out of it? You really put, there's a method behind the madness of it all.
Yeah, thank you.
And how, like, when you're thinking of making this, do you initially go like, okay, am I gonna make this a big movie or a big kind of video or a smaller video, or does it just kind of happen that way organically?
What happened was in the beginning, what happened was that, like, Shit My Pants parody. Okay, the Bad Romance, Lady Gaga's Bad Romance, it was an event.
Yes. Okay.
So there was like, she's filming it. It's coming soon.
Gotcha.
It premieres tomorrow. Here it is. It was an event.
Gotcha.
And so to do a parody of that became, I'm riding on the coattails of her event with my own event.
Yes.
Okay? Work! And the orchestra. And then...
Symphony Live.
And what happened now is you don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
No, name the last video that was an event from someone.
I mean, honestly, I don't remember.
And YouTube is so saturated, which is kind of why I'm like, okay, that chapter, I'm still doing some, and I have plans to do them.
Right.
I want to keep that wheel turning, but it's not my primary focus because it's just that chapter is kind of like moving on.
Yeah.
It was 10 years. But at that time, music videos, some were still an event. And so it was just the right time. With Shit My Pants was like the height of Gaga. The video was an event, and it was also the height of Perez Hilton, who I've known before he was Perez Hilton. I've known for a long time. He's a friend of mine, and there's a lot of controversy with that, but I love him, and I will always be really thankful to him because he posted it, he sent it to Gaga, she posted it, and then it exploded.
Yeah.
And at the time, anyway, it was like one of the biggest, certainly drag viral
I
videos.
totally think so. I mean, it's definitely one I think people will associate very closely with the launch of everything with Gaga. And I
have a lot of people come and say, that's the first time I saw drag.
Yeah,
and
true.
So
I can totally see that.
So all of those things converge.
Gotcha. And it's really true. I mean, I think really, like, if I were to say the one last one that I actually remember that was at an event, may have been Lemonade. I think that might have been the last one that was really an event.
Yes, and they were parodies of that the next day.
So next day.
The other thing is that happened, which is great, with people like, okay, now you can make videos on your phone,
right?
And you don't need to have an editor. All these, I mean, you could just be like, I'm writing a parody and then shoot it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's really impressive what technology has allowed us to do nowadays with filming and making people almost their own kind of video editors. At the palm of
I
their
remember
hands.
when Bad Romance premiered, because we couldn't see anything before except for maybe some photos, whatever. I remember I had already written the parody, I had already recorded it, and having the makeup, the hair people, the props, dancers, everybody sitting in my bedroom to watch that and be like, let's go, we got a video to make, and trying to be as fast as possible. Wow. But now, like I said, you could just whip the video comes out, Lemonade comes out, and in an hour someone's got a parody of it.
Exactly. So for what you see for the future of what you're doing for your portion of the career, do you see it more in doing live performances, or do you see it coupled now with doing parodies as well as doing stuff on stage and doing what you're continuing to doing, like stuff with Jackie B?
None of that will change. Okay. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But
Awesome wood.
the main motivation to move here was Jackie and I are starting a production company, and
Oh, fantastic.
you know, we've been doing for about 4 or 5 years now. We do the you know, our version of the Golden Girls,
Right.
and we've done Who's the Boss, Designing Women. We're doing Facts of Life in April, at Casita, and so it's like, okay, let's do more theater.
Okay.
Let's do some videos together. I really want to start doing movies, and I want to
Okay.
start with like a short film, and then hopefully graduate to feature.
Okay.
We want to hopefully produce shows for other queens. Maybe try and get a development deal.
Yeah.
So we really are starting a production company that'll be an umbrella for all these different ventures. Our Battle of the Bitches show.
Yes. Which is you're going to be going to later this evening.
Tonight, and we're in Santa Ana.
And Santa Ana.
And we're at Casita on February
28th. I have it.
No.
Wait, hold on. I have it here. February 19th.
19th. February 19th at Casita.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's just like I said, I want it to be like a factory. And
Yeah.
Jackie's so fast.
Oh, yeah.
And she's definitely faster than me, but I think that I'm maybe a little bit more on the business side,
Mhm.
and so I think together it's
It's a nice-
something we've talked
it's a
about for
great
5
partnership.
years,
Yeah.
and now we're doing it.
And do you
So that's the next chapter.
do you specifically see going into this as a production company for specifically drag queens, or is it a production company just overall?
No, I think it's more, I would say, pretty heavily drag
Okay,
driven.
gotcha. And it's, I mean, because there's already a lot going out there with stuff that like World of Wonder's been doing, things like that, and drag has really become the forefront now, thanks to a lot of stuff in part with RuPaul's Drag Race. For your opinion on kind of the evolution of drag and drag history from kind of the early days when, like you said before, there was like 4 or 5 kind of main people that would really tour around, and everyone else was kind of just these local girls here or there. For you, and now seeing these, like, I mean, now we have
150 of them.
150 girls that are like, again, that are touring and going around, and they're being these new icons for drag community and drag, what kind of what drag is across the board. What do you see, like, let's start with, like, what do you think Drag Race really has done for the drag community that you think that really nothing else could have really done for it?
Well, it certainly has legitimized drag in the eyes of TV and film people.
Gotcha.
And different, outside of just
Like
the gay
Hollywood.
male
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you go to a drag show from one of the girls from Drag Race, the majority of the audience is not gay men.
Oh, no, yeah.
So it's legitimized it,
Mhm.
and it's certainly opened the door for people to think, people being like a producer or something, be like, okay, there's something here. And a lot of them have over 1 million followers on Instagram, which
Right.
is something that casting people look at.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you think it's really changed the industry for not just what drag does, but for like for beauty, for cosmetics, for clothing as well? I mean, has it really shifted focus that, I mean, you don't have to be just a woman now to be able to have all these kind of different features. You can be someone that is a performer and still receive the same benefits and stuff like
Sure.
that.
I mean, I guess from, I've seen, like, certainly, like, Miss Fame is, you know,
Oh my
the
gosh.
leader in that.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
is so sickening, stunning, and
Mhm.
gorgeous. That, sure, it's made some people think, like, oh my gosh, if this makeup can make a man look like that. Or what. But at the same time, she can hate.
Yeah.
She did me once, and I stare at it sometimes like, who is that?
You're like, this is fashion model. But
Yeah,
it is, I
she's
mean,
just
some
so
of those girls are
talented.
scary talented
Yes.
with a lot of that stuff. And I mean, the things they can do with
And then on the
makeup.
other end of the spectrum, you have someone like Acid Betty,
Oh my
who's
God.
like, just
just
every color
Yes.
in the world that's on her face, and it's gorgeous and amazing.
Well, and like also people like Nina Bonita Brown who are just, I mean, do these, these looks that are these characters, and then they're just amazing artists when it comes to makeup and stuff. I mean, it really, I'm just so floored by the talent we've been able to see
Honey,
across
totally.
the board that I don't think
Totally.
we would have
Look,
had the
I
opportunity.
always say that if Drag Race was around 15, 20 years ago, I would have like crawled through glass to get on that show.
Who would you love to see? If again, let's say Drag Race 1992. When
Our Drag Race Legends season.
Who would you think would be like some of the ones you would love
I
to
would
compete
love to
against?
see like a Golden Girls legend dinosaur, call
Oh
it
my
whatever
God.
you will, season of the season queen season.
Well,
like an All-Stars, like maybe a shorter season, but
like something like just very
Jackie
intimate.
and me and Varla, Jean Merman, Coco Peru, Heclina, Peaches Christ, Shaquita, Head of Lettuce.
Well, actually, we had Frank Marino on here, and he even said
Frank
he
Marino?
said he'd love to do something like
Of
that
course. Who
as a
wouldn't?
fun thing.
But you
like
know,
that.
I couldn't go on there now. I can't compete against some 22-year-old who could do a death drop.
No, God,
I
no. Just take that, reverse that, and drop dead. That's what you're gonna kill.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that there's an audience for that.
Yeah, for sure.
And gay men my age are not in the demographic of watching that show.
No, for
so
sure.
I think you wouldn't lose anyone, and you would gain.
Have you seen
Who am
that?
I talking to?
Have you gained a new? Do you feel like you've gained a new audience of followers that aren't people that have
Totally.
followed you from the very
Oh
beginning?
my god, totally. And I opened for Bianca Del Rio last summer on her
Oh,
UK
love
tour,
Bianca.
and we did 11 shows in 11 cities, which over 30,000 people
Wow.
saw. And my Instagram jumped like whoosh, and it was all teenage girls, mostly. And so yeah, I think because of these very high profile queens that have come off of Drag Race,
Mm-hmm.
Bianca, Alaska, Willem, who's include us, meaning me, Jackie, Varla, Coco,
Yeah.
who get it
Yeah.
and include us,
Yeah.
have opened up like hey, don't forget about these people.
Yeah.
That it's kind of opened that up.
It's really paying respect. I mean, you definitely like you. I mean, Coco, Lady Bunny. I mean, RuPaul. I mean, you guys are the ones that really set the foundation of what really the classiness and again the sophistication of what drag used to be and still is.
Never been called classy.
Not after 5 a.m. That's for sure. But it is. I mean, you guys really have set the precedent for what people look to when they set what drag really was. And again, in the very early ages of it, you guys are the ones that set some of the highest standards for what people had to look forward to for when it came to performance, especially for singing live. I mean, you hardly see that nowadays, and I see a lot of younger girls now coming into wanting to go back to being able to sing live because they feel that's a better quality to have.
You have the full spectrum,
Right.
And certainly on RuPaul's Drag Race, you have the full spectrum.
Oh, for sure.
And you can't say one's better than the other. It's just you really have everything.
Yeah.
You have your look queen. You have like I remember the first time seeing Jinx Monsoon after Drag Race, where I was like, oh my god, like I was blown away. She's amazing. So
She's
and there's
scary talented.
She's scary talented,
Yeah.
and there's so many of them that are. So
Yeah.
it's like
And then for you, if you were ever, like, because a lot of these girls do end up going and doing albums and different stuff like that and becoming musicians, do you think in the future we would have a Sherry Divine parody of an Alaska or an Adore Delano or a RuPaul? Like,
the only queen that I have written a parody of their song is Bob the Drag Queen. I wrote a parody of Purse First called Nurse First, and I haven't performed it or done a video for it, but it's definitely like
it's out there.
it's on my it's part of this medley I do about getting older. Nurse First. She cracked up, but that's the only one.
Would you see yourself maybe doing any of those, or do you kind of like again that's going to be more on the back burner and be more the production company in the forefront?
Doing the parody videos is on a burner, but not
okay.
my top priority.
Gotcha. I mean, I would love to see that, especially get a RuPaul cameo popping out.
Yeah, Jackie and I literally have a list of videos we want to do.
Okay.
I've already recorded like 2 or 3 different parodies that I have not done a video for yet that I will. So that wheel will keep turning.
Obviously.
But certainly I think like Battle the Bitches and that kind of stuff is more of the focus.
Gotcha. And so I definitely want to mention that some of those ones that you do have coming up tonight. I mean, if you do have a chance to run down to Santa Ana, you can go and see her and Jackie for Battle of the Bitches. And then
It's really funny. It's all live, all
It's
filthy.
hilarious.
We perform parody versus parody. And it's at 8 o'clock.
basically they just come for each other.
At Velvet.
They just come for each
Girl.
other.
2 queens enter, 1 queen leaves. Yeah.
Jackie ate her. That's what happened. And then Saturday, February 2nd, it's Ross Matthews Drag Brunch at Rockwell. So if you're in Hollywood,
it's almost sold out already. 'cause
It
it's
is.
like
Oh my gosh.
Jackie's hosting, and it's me, Vicky Vox, Glenn Allen,
Oh god.
Kennedy Davenport.
Oh yeah. No. Done.
Crazy.
And done. Oh, Kennedy's gonna be like twirling and spinning and doing up.
I'm sure she
She will
will.
be all across that place. And then February 16th, you're gonna be at Hamburger Mary's in Long Beach. Another reminder, February 19th. If you missed tonight's Battle of the Bitches, there will be another one.
And it's completely different. Sorry to interrupt.
So it's a completely different show.
Because we've done it so many times in LA that it's going to be all new.
Okay, so is it similar sets?
It's the same outline, but it's completely new material, like stuff that we've never performed that we want to like.
So
test.
really save it for February 19th for Battle of the Bitches with Jackie and Miss Jerry Vine at Casita del Campo.
Yeah.
And where is that exactly? I did not.
It's in Silver Lake.
Oh, Silver Lake. Oh, Silver Lake.
Hyperion.
Hyperion. Ooh. We're getting East Side realness.
Yeah.
And then February 22nd, you're going to be on a big day cruise.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of cruises with Atlantis. This is like my 18th, I think.
Oh my gosh.
But I've never, it's Tahiti.
Ooh.
And I'm so excited because I said to them, I was like, if I only get one this year, 2019, that's the one that I want. And they gave it to me.
How long is your tour with that?
It's a week. 7 islands in a week.
Wow.
Places I've never even heard of. And I've never been to that part of the world. It's all beach, and I'm a beach creature, Pisces. And I cannot be more excited.
Oh, it sounds so much fun. Again, especially...
Girl, that's a good job. That's a good job. Because you're getting paid. I only have to do 3 shows.
And she loves semen.
And then,
so...
Yes, I do.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you. This is the first thing I've done in LA as an official resident. So
she's officially here, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much, Sherry. There goes the neighborhood.
She still needs work.
You can find her all across social media at Miss Sherry Vine, and then just Sherry Vine on Facebook as well. But it's across the board. You can find her anywhere and everywhere, and also go check out all her YouTube stuff, which is hilarious. And it's again, a lot of it was my favorite first things that I first saw was through the YouTube.
I used to always say, like, you can see me on Instagram, blah, 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 and at 3 a.m. on Craigslist. But they did away with that.
Yeah.
Now it's on Double List.
Honey, I saw my sex life pass before my eyes.
I'll give you a new website. You
Okay,
can find it out there. So we'll get that trade going instantaneously. We also want to say thank you very much to GayLifeLA.com, our amazing producers, as well as Kingswood Apartment Homes for the noise you see today. I'm sorry, for the place you see today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys next week. And have a great rest of your week.
Yay.
Thank you.